What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and today I'm joined by Chris Apica.
What's going on, everybody?
And Daniel Acevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So again, please tune in to Monday and Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays, Ask CISSP. Like I said, it's not a lot of those this holiday, but we have a few coming up. We might do some throwbacks, things of that nature as well. And then Fridays, everything else, so movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So definitely continue to tune in for all of that goodness and leave us your feedback. So the next article is Canada orders TikTok to shut down over national risk concerns. So this one is written by Bleeping Computer by Bill Towles. I'm terrible at this. I need Chan to come back. So in this article, it talks about how the Canadian government has ordered the dissolution of TikTok Technology Canada following a multi-step review that provided information and evidence of the social media company posing a national risk. So they told TikTok to shut down its on-premise business immediately. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to toss it to Daniel. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so now we see this, both US and Canada are kind of in the outs with TikTok. I'm going to throw it back a little bit with this phrase I'm about to say, but in the famous words of James Franco in the interview, this is same, but different, right? The US didn't want TikTok either physically, they don't want the app on the stores, nothing. They want to, exercise that demon and get them out completely. With Canada, it's a little different because they're allowing the users to both have the app and become a content creator on the app if they want. They just don't want any physical presence of TikTok within the country itself. What's really going on there? We're not too sure, but if you ask me, put my tinfoil hat on real quick. I think either TikTok.
You put on, hold on, for the people just listening, you put on a real tinfoil hat, people. I'm going to make that the thumbnail.
If you ask me, I think either ByteDance sending like spies or something like that to these countries to actually try to infiltrate the governments or something like that, or they're using TikTok as a platform to brainwash the different countries as well. I'm not too sure what's going on, but that's like my tinfoil hat on it. But in all seriousness, though, all this has to come from, there's got to be a larger intelligence gathering that's marking these information for the governments to be taking these stances. And obviously the general users and us in the background talking heads are not going to really know what's going on. But I would be curious to see, what do you think, Chris, if this is going to be a trend now for the different UN nations, other places around the world that have good intelligence gathering, coupled with security concerns of a large organization like ByteDance in China, where maybe there's more to how they're doing these algorithmic things now that there's been so many years of data collected. What are your thoughts?
I mean, from the international perspective, not speaking US or Canada, what's stopping any EU country from saying Facebook is just if I had a tinfoil hat, CIA collection device, right? What's stopping them from banning American companies from doing the same? Just because, hey, they follow the GDPR stuff and regulations in Europe doesn't, how do we know that there's that level of assurance? Because they're US based, right? I think this is a trend.
They have it in the past though, right? And the Facebooks and Instagrams and even the X's of the world, which I'm forgetting what it was before.
Twitter.
There's a lot more years of data on how those things collect data, their algorithms, what they're feeding people, and what they do.
Yeah.
I feel like if there was a concern there, that would come to light already.
Correct. But, I think if I would put my tinfoil hat on, Canada does as the U.S. does, right? Canada kind of follows the U.S. in terms of, they like to copy us, really. Let's be real here.
They're our cousins.
Yeah, they're our cousins, right? They even have they're actually implementing their own version of CMMC, right? So I think that was discussed in a previous podcast. But what's interesting to me is that they're just shutting down TikTok Technology Canada. So effectively, anybody working for TikTok in Canada but they can still use the app. So is
Yeah.
this just a political thing? Is this just a political kudos for whatever organization, whoever is running it? So that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards. I think just, based on current political landscape, there's a lot of protectionist, isolationist vibes coming from a lot of these electorates, right? So this might be just another example of that. Somebody on a campaign platform and say, "Oh yeah, I was part of the process or whatever that banned TikTok Canada. Now those Chinese spies can't get." So I think it is just posturing from them
Yeah.
because like they can still use the app. Come on, man. At least here in the US, they're trying to say, hey, unless you sell it, unless TikTok or ByteDance turns over ownership to another company, it's gonna be bad. But realistically, how is that gonna happen? In this how is ByteDance or how is TikTok gonna be banned in the US?
Oh, it's
Kind
not.
of going back to that.
It's not going to happen.
It's probably not.
Not
How is that gonna
now that we've
happen?
had a shift of presidency, I think that's going to be real that again, and then it's going to stay. But unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah,
I was all about it.
yeah, for sure.
I was all about getting rid of it. But
Yeah, but TikTok's very entertaining. I won't lie. I freaking love it. Like all these, like a lot of government people, they don't want it on, yeah, your government phone. But in my opinion, right, like I'm getting a lot of TikToks, completely off topic, on like R&B and like people reacting to old songs, and I'm all about it. I freaking love it. People recreating, 90s R&B. I love it. But anyway, back on topic. Part of it is, I think, Canada's posturing, and I just don't think that there's nothing that I don't think they've done anything of value, I think, from
yeah,
Canada. Now, if more countries are going towards this, and this is a kind of a step in that direction where they prevent, quote unquote Chinese spies from getting information, it might be a thing, right? But the thing is, why is just TikTok held to that standard, right? What about Instagram? What about WhatsApp? Telegram. I think Telegram is a Russian, right? So Telegram is, being probed. The guy got arrested and when he came on France, right? The CEO. So yeah, it's just for me to keep talking about it, I'll have to like put more tinfoil hat stuff on. So I'll pass back to over to.
No, I don't think you guys are far off. But we may never know why this was done. Actually, so my tinfoil hat theory is it was in an effort to begin the blocking of TikTok, right? Like I think it's the first step. So we feel like you're a threat, so we get you off of our soil, and then the next step is we take you off of the App Store or Google Play Store or whatever. So I think it's you have to do something like A has to happen before B happens. Basically, I think that's what's going on. Or you can go a little bit deeper. Perhaps they did see indications of spying, and they wanted to cancel visas, right? Like you can't work in a country without it. You can't live in a country without a job if you're on a working visa. So maybe they thought that some people were there in Canada doing some nefarious things and they wanted them out. So part of the process of getting them out of there is to get rid of their job. But I think that's I think that's a longer workaround than just deporting people, right? You just be
yeah,
like, you're a spy, you need to get out of here. So I think that would be the long route to kicking out spies as opposed to just kicking them out. So it could be posturing. Like I don't think that you're on the wrong track, Chris, at all. Like I think that most likely that is the easy answer. That is probably what they are doing, right? It's the most common sense answer is that they don't their constituents are anti foreign bodies and social media presence and things of that nature. So they're putting up a hard stance to then run on that in the future. But it could just be the first step in the domino. Like, right, Canada kicks them off, US kicks them off, and then Apple is told to remove them from the App Store at some point as well. So could be the future. TikTok could be going down. Or so I disagree with Daniel, which is very rare. I don't think that this administration is going to back
oh,
down off
really?
TikTok because they were the administration that initially kicked it up.
Oh,
They
you
were
know,
like, you need
yeah,
to
you're
sell
right.
to a
Yeah,
US
you are
body.
right. I guess
Yeah. So I think that if anything, they're going to turn it up, like turn
I
the screws
wonder
on.
though. I guess another question that comes out of this article is, what is the general populace's appetite for government? I mean, we already seen people outraged about it, but is this the first domino? Are we going to see more of this where, in China, they control a lot of the interwebs, kind of the data and the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost all of it. Yeah.
AUD, some of the Middle East countries also do that kind of with their
Mhm.
populace. Canada, US, and the UE usually don't, but this is the first time that's actually happening. I wonder if this is going to be a trend moving forward for foreign-owned countries that have apps in our app stores, or is it just an outlier?
So, in my personal opinion, right? So, just Ryan's 2 cents. I think it comes down to constituents, right? Their constituency, the people actually who are voting, are more hardline isolationists, who don't necessarily want a foreign body having a presence, and affecting our
Hmm.
youth. So the youth who care about it, the ones who are actually on there creating their personas and things of that nature, for the most part, right? There's older people who also have social media presence on TikTok, but the people who are doing the TikTok dances and the challenges and whatnot, they're not of voting age, so they don't matter in this
Yeah.
case, which is unfortunate. The people who feel as though it is a means of brainwashing and things of that nature are the people who are actually voting. So, of course, their electorate is going to be like, yeah, I want to get reelected. I'm going to stick it to TikTok, stick it to
Yeah.
ByteDance, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to get these votes
Strong point.
going. And then maybe in the next decade or so, when those kids are able to vote, then they'll flip flop. They'll be like, oh, TikTok isn't so bad, or whatever is the new hotness, right? Depending upon how the political currents change, right? That's how politicians do their business. They flip flop as needed. So I'm I'm cool with the whole TikTok being so to a certain extent, right? Because I am a little nervous about how they collect data and how they're able to influence our population. But at the end of the day, I don't know how it's going to be done. Like you have a rogues gallery of characters being put into the new administration, so perhaps it'll go to Elon or one of his buddies, right? And then it'll be U.S. owned, because X or Twitter or whatever it's called now can definitely use the presence, so, or the disappearance of a social media platform, right? Because then that bolsters everybody else's platform. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds on that one, but I think this is the first domino, and we'll see what the U.S. does to it in
Yeah.
January, probably.
Yeah, we'll see.
They'll start talking about it. Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll have more to come. But yeah, this is the first time. I think this is the first time TikTok's been kicked out of the country. So it could be the start of a trend. Hit up all the websites that go by our name. You can hit us up on the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or ask CISSP. You can hit me up personally. I'm at Ryan Security Guy. You can find me on pretty much all the platforms, but I'm most active on LinkedIn. And where can I find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Abacon. Last name spelled A Bacon.
You can
And you,
find me on
Daniel?
LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.